Joy Division are one of the most influential bands in Manchester's musical legacy, but did you know one of the group's most famous gigs took place right here in Bury? On April the 8th, 1980, Joy Division performed in the Met's Derby Hall, in a gig which turned out to be one of the band's final appearances, and later became known as the Derby Hall Riot. As part of a regular series of Tuesday night gigs featuring local alternative bands, Joy Division were billed to appear, supported by Dutch band Mini Pops. With Joy Division being perhaps the biggest post-punk live act in the region, the 400 capacity venue was set to be packed.
I mean, we did have some big bands, Landscape played there, Maddie Pryor played there, so the Chameleons played there, so we did have some big names, but certainly Joy Division was probably the biggest.
Despite the difficult circumstances of lead singer Ian Curtis's ongoing health issues, the gig went ahead as planned. The Derby Hall soon found itself well over capacity, with concertgoers said to be accessing the gig through emergency exits.
The arrangements for the evening could best be described as shambolic. I was in charge of the lighting desk, which meant that I really needed a running order, which you would expect to be given by any band. I was given no running order.
Adding to this were last-minute changes to the lineup, with Curtis only appearing on stage for a few songs.
The way it was kind of pitched was that the bands would just come on and come off, and it would be a kind of a progression. I don't know whether that was to kind of slightly hide the fact that Ian was only going to do a few songs and they knew in advance. I have no idea. And obviously the audience got fairly discontented by this. And there was no announcement between the bands, so it was quite hard to work out what was going on.
The atmosphere soon became riotous, with glasses being thrown onto the stage and fights breaking out amongst the crowd. Testimonies from the people who attended may imply the reality was not quite as dramatic as some accounts suggest.
I think a riot is a bit of a reach. It was definitely more than a skirmish, and it was enough for me to... I put on the hall lights, the main lights, and then I hid under the lighting desk. So it was enough to be a fight that you wouldn't want to be involved in.
The gig has taken on huge importance in the story of one of our region's most influential musical legacies, and will go down as one of the most famous musical events in Bury's history.